I wanted to start off with a very hot topic right now in the industry across the globe, the 5G networks. You already started working on 5G in Austria. When do you expect this topic to become relevant here in Bulgaria also?
Well, number one, we are very passionate about 5G. We believe it will be a real game changer for the industry. It will open up a vast amount of new use cases, and hence we have started quite a while ago working on 5G. We have done quite a few tests already starting 2 years back in Austria. We have opened the first cities with a city with 5G. We're collaborating with the Vienna airport on 5G, and we have also started working on 5G in Bulgaria because it's very important to understand what the technology is about, what are the challenges. You have to master the whole network and the technology end to end, and that's part of the preparation which we are taking. Having said this, there is many components of making such a new technology fly. One part is the network where we are working on, other part is the availability of devices, of smartphones, of netcubes, but thirdly is about regulation and the availability of the spectrum, but also the regulation which goes along with rolling out 5G networks, such as permits and other stuff. And policymakers and the industry and politics have to manage that all at once. I can tell you we are prepared. In Bulgaria, I think there needs to be some issues solved yet with the availability of the spectrum. I think that would be very important for Bulgarian consumers and businesses to be able to seize the benefits of 5G as fast as possible. In Austria, we already had a 5G auction earlier this year. We participated, we got the best spectrum, and we are very much determined and committed to implementing 5G in Bulgaria as well. As soon as the market is ready, as soon as the networks are ready, as soon as the devices are available, but especially as soon as we get any spectrum.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any expectations when this should happen about the spectrum?
I'm not an expert on that. I think if everyone moves fast, the industry would be ready to do launches next year. The ecosystem should be ready. We will launch next year for sure in Austria, probably in some other of the markets. But that is dependent on local decisions. But we are ready.
Mm-hmm. And how would you say it's justified to launch a 5G network here on a market like Bulgaria, where you don't get as high your RPU as in other markets from the customers? How do you justify the investment?
Well, number one, I think from a public standpoint, as I said before, consumers and enterprises, they deserve it. There will be demand. It will not start with the first day because people need to adapt, use cases need to develop. We as operator, we need to understand and manage the technology, but that will happen. That's just a question of time. Having said that, number two, I think demand will follow, and demand is the precondition for us for investment. What we always require is a stable, investment-friendly regulatory regime, which of course touches upon the issue of frequencies. It touches upon the issues of environmental regulation, permits, but also legal stability in many aspects. But if that is a given, we are ready to invest, as we have done in the past. We have invested around about 4 billion leva in the past years in Bulgaria. We are very proud of that. We are very much committed to the country. I think the company has transformed a lot in the past years. moving from a mobile-only player to a very powerful converged player with a strong, very broad, very innovative portfolio, and we are ready to go further and to take the next steps if the framework is the right one.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any estimations about the amount of investment you plan for 5G here in Bulgaria or on other markets?
Well, we are not giving numbers. We are investing around about 100 million a year, which is a significant investment as it has been in the past and as it will be in the future.
And have you decided if Nokia is your partner, 5G partner, in all markets you operate, or it depends?
Well, for us, number one, it's important to have good balance on the vendor side, on the supply chain side, because obviously you don't want to be dependent on one or the other vendors. We want to have that balance. We have already taken a decision in Austria to work with Nokia, who has been a long-standing strategic partner for the network deployment. We have not taken decisions for other opcos, but for sure Nokia will be part of the decision process.
Mm-hmm. And do you, as A1 Telekom Austria Group, do you have official statement about the situation with Huawei? In Europe, do you expect this case to affect the industry here?
Huawei is for sure in general a powerful supplier of network equipment. It's 1 out of 4 basically globally. If you look at radio network equipment, where we have 2 Chinese main vendors and 2 European main vendors. For us as a group, it's important that political discussions are not confused with technological discussions or business decisions. We are selecting our vendors very carefully. We have a very diligent selection processes covering all different kind of dimensions, from the level of technology, from commercial aspects as well as from security aspects, to make sure our supply chains are safe and our customers are safe, and that's where we base our decisions on.
So A1, at least here in Bulgaria, is moving beyond traditional telecom services, which is obviously a global trend actually. Do you see this way of doing the telecom business like the future of it, compared to the traditional telecom operator we know from the past, like offering many services in different directions from one company?
First of all, I want to say we are very proud of A1 Bulgaria. The guys went through major transformation, moving from mobile-only business to fully converged business, embracing many of the new services and trends and consumer behaviors which we see in the market. We see that in our core business there is a limit of growth, part of it driven by excess regulation. At the same time, we are committed to seizing more of the value which is created by digitalization. And we as a telco, we are in the middle of digitalization. And as a result, we're moving from being a traditional telco operator to what we call a digital service provider. In the enterprise segment, that means we're embracing all different aspects of digitalization on the connectivity side, on the IT services side, on cloud offerings. We are investing in the cybersecurity segment, and we are especially investing into the Internet of Things for enterprises, but as well as on the consumer side. On the consumer side, we're moving in new areas such as the media business. We are one of the leaders in TV services. We are one of the leaders in sports content here in the country. We are particularly proud of that. We think that's very relevant for consumers. We are moving at high speed into the entertainment business. We founded the esports league also in Bulgaria. We have that also, for example, in Austria. that's really addressing the needs of a young generation, very much related to digitalization. We are moving into the Internet of Things also for consumers, if you think about our smart home offer, and we're moving into other new, very innovative areas, such the financial services, with a digital wallet offered by A1 Bulgaria, or a credit card offering also offered by A1 area. So very exciting times for us, moving beyond traditional revenue streams in order to cater the digitalization needs of our customers better on the consumer as well as on the enterprise side.
Actually, do you see a mobile operator or telecom operator in general to survive in the future only by its traditional services? Is it possible?
I think time will tell. And I'm pretty sure there is also a market for a very targeted approach focused on providing infrastructure and connectivity only. Our strategy is a different one because we are convinced that we need to put the needs of our customers in the center of everything what we need to do, what we do. And the needs of our customers are evolving from traditional connectivity to making our entire lives way more digital. Again, here on the consumer and on the enterprise side. And that's where we're moving. And that's, I think, where we can really differentiate from traditional players.
You mentioned the TV channels. What's your interest in the media segment more deeply? Do you plan on launching your own produced TV shows or movies locally?
We did so, for example, at a very limited scale in Austria already, working together with influencers, with people from our esports league, with people from our activities in the sports area. But this we do at a very targeted manner. What is important for us is not, to build a media empire. What is important for us is to provide services which matter to our customers. And there is a lot of content available which we serve to our customers on a non-exclusive or exclusive basis to make us even more relevant for our customers. And in areas where this content is not available and where we think we can produce it efficiently ourselves, we will do so. But that's not, I would say, a core part of the strategy, but that we take a bit more pragmatically.
Mm-hmm. Do you see the need for any acquisitions in some field in the future?
We have done a few acquisitions actually. As you're perfectly aware, also in Bulgaria, I think we have a very strong track record in acquisitions. We have now also a very strong fixed player in the market. And that's part of the strategy. If we find interesting opportunities outside, we are ready to act, but at the same time, we're not under pressure, we're not empire buildings, but we want to create value for our shareholders and for our customers.
My last question would be, what would be the biggest revenue source for A1 in like 5 or 10 years from now?
First of all, in the industry, you have become a bit reluctant in doing predictions. Number two is connectivity will for sure play always a major role in our revenue sources. However, and thirdly, when you see where growth is coming from, this is where the new services play a major role. And, I think this bundle of new services, new digital services that will contribute a great deal to the growth. We don't know exactly in which areas we will be very successful and in other areas maybe less successful. No one knows in that market, but we're moving along the needs of our customers. We are very excited about that. We will continue to do so. Bulgaria, our Bulgarian operations are very successful in doing so. Very innovative, very fast. We are very proud of them, and hence I'm very optimistic about the future.